Creatures of Sonaria is toxic.
This community has become so incredibly toxic.
The Creatures of Sonaria fandom is honestly so toxic. Can we take a minute to talk about how toxic?
Hey, I'm Asu, an unofficial COS, CC, which you might have already seen if you usually get COS content on your TikTok fight. And today, I will be explaining why the COS community is actually a regular community instead of the demonized version that everyone uses. But firstly, if this is your reaction, what you type in when someone doesn't share your opinion, you can fuck off because these comments are genuinely so annoying and bring 0 points expect random negativity. So now back into the main topic. Creature of Sonaria has one of the worst reputations on Roblox. Ask almost anyone and they'll tell you the community is toxic. But after playing for around 3 years, I genuinely started wondering something. Is the community actually that toxic, or are we constantly being shown the worst 1% of interactions until we believe that's normal? I've played this game for years as a coser. I've fought thousands of players, traded with hundreds, joined dozens of servers. Yet when I actually stop and think, I struggle to remember the last truly toxic interaction I had. And by toxic I mean actually toxic, not the TikTok winners who makes a video after being randomly cosed or targeted. When it was just a coser flying around a specific area which they kept coming back in because I cause all of the time, and people call me a targeter when I happen to kill them a few times after they come back to my cosing areas. Hate to break it to you, but you are not the main character, Brody. No one gives a damn about you. By actually toxic interaction, I mean the actual definition of online toxicity. Plus actual specific, targeting behavior, a witch hunting. Only that removes from the table a huge chunks of videos of someone calling out the whole community toxic because they had a few bad experiences. Which aren't bad experiences, you just got killed in a PvP game, Karen. For sure people rage after dying. Someone calls you bad, maybe someone revenge kills. But that's normal PvP behavior in almost every competitive game. That's very different from saying an entire / most community is toxic as many of these videos claim. And with that said, I cannot think of any actually toxic interaction I've gotten in the past months, yet for sure I still have gotten people being frustrated because I killed them. But it isn't actual toxicity, like I said. These interactions based on frustration is a natural response to losing something you cared about. Here, something in a game. Now that I've explained how much the term toxic has been slapped on any frustration-based interaction, I want you to think how this may affect points of views. All you see is people calling common interactions toxic, but after what I explained very little of, these interactions are actually toxic. So if many players don't actually experience toxicity, why does everyone believe the community is toxic? Well, social media has something to do with it. Everyone knows how relatable content does better numbers, and how outrageous content push people to interact with the video and so push it towards to others. So what's the best combination? Making a common interaction outrageous, making being cosed outrageous and so toxic. Psychologists actually have a term for this: moral contagion. Research shows that content involving outrage spreads further than neutral content because people are more likely to react, comment, and share it. Social media algorithms amplify emotionally charged posts, making them far more visible than ordinary content. Think about it. Which video gets more views? I played Creature of Sonaria for 5 hours and everyone was nice, or this player ruined the community, the second one every time. Now imagine what happens. Someone has one bad interaction, they make a video, and that video gets views. Another creator sees it, they remember their own bad experience, they make another video. Suddenly dozens of videos all tell the same story. Before long, everyone believes toxicity is everywhere and that they are a victim of it. There's another psychological bias called the availability heuristic. Humans judge how common something is based on how easily examples come to mind. If your feed shows 10 toxic clips every week, your brain naturally starts believing toxicity is everywhere. Even if those clips came from normal interactions, these interactions will become demonized in your point of view after consuming too much of these contents. All of these videos will create something called the spiral of silence. People become less willing to express opinions when they think the majority disagrees with them. That's why you never saw a video like this one before. And because of how everyone has been manipulated into thinking the toxicity is everywhere, this video might get flooded with hate. It'll only make me more right in some ways. Online, if everyone repeats that the community is toxic, players who disagree often stay quiet because they don't want to be attacked or mocked. That silence can make it seem like everyone shares the same opinion, even if they don't. Sociologists also describe moral entrepreneurs, people who build influence by defining what is good or bad and encouraging others to adopt those standards. If you heard of the moral police term, that's what I'm talking about. Online, this can take the form of creators who frequently produce call-out content. Their work can sometimes expose genuine problems, but it can also shape how an entire community is perceived if negative stories receive disproportionate attention. A term for this is the moral police, not because holding people accountable is bad. Sometimes call-out posts are completely justified, but sometimes every disagreement becomes a moral issue. Every opinion has to be judged. Every playstyle needs approval. If you don't agree with the accepted opinion, suddenly you're problematic. Take cosing. People often act like every coser is automatically toxic because of the sheer amount of content affirming that, but killing other players is literally one of the main intended mechanics of the game. Whether someone enjoys, that is another discussion, but enjoying PvP doesn't automatically make someone a bad person. I was once accused of stream sniping simply because I happened to be in the same server as a streamer. I killed one of their friends because I try to cause everything I seize. Suddenly people assumed malicious intent. Labels spread much faster than context.
Please invite me to the path before I get...
Ew, stream sniper, and it's another streamer, ew!
I won't make this video much longer, but next time you see someone bragging about the community or having a toxic experience, think of what I said here. None of this means toxic. People don't exist. They absolutely do. Scammers exist, harassers exist, bullies and witch hunters exist. But they're not representative of every Creature of Sonaria player, and are far from being even 30% of the global community. Maybe now you'll feel better. The community isn't as toxic as people say, and the game isn't doomed. For it, we're just seeing the same negative moments repeated thousands of times because negativity spreads, drama spreads, outrage spreads, normal games don't. So before calling an entire community toxic, ask yourself one question: is this really what most players experience? Or is it simply what social media keeps showing us? If you disagree with me, that's completely fine. My goal isn't to convince everyone that the community is perfect. It's to question whether its reputation accurately reflects the average player's experience. And to be honest, if you don't agree with me, you can develop your arguments down in the comment section. But don't do like I said in the beginning of the video. Comments of hate without justification or arguments that are deconstructed here are useless and harmful.
I do believe my opinion is the right one because of the psychological effect that are documented and used unconsciously in those videos are easily noticeable once you get to know about them, and their effect are just as I explained showed. And if you're going to make a call-out post about me, which I hope none will do, try to make it better stuffed than what Pigeon did long ago, because the lack of argument only makes you look bad, and since I'm open to understand different point of views, it's the least you can do.
You look like a huge dickhead and you need to grow up. Nobody support the person who made that video because it is so weird. Weirdo. Frankly, a weirdo.
Despite them having the good argument, targeting a targeter is bad. They put it in such atrocious ways it's just free hate. So instead of insulting, forwards your arguments like a mature person. If you're one of these content creators that claims anything is toxic, your content has genuine harmful effects on other, next time choose your words more carefully and don't label everything as toxic or targeting. Anyway, I hope this video interested you and that it maybe made you realize that the community is not as doomed and horrible as these moral police contents claims because many people did quit because of that. Asu out.